I watched his video with Theo Vaughn, and I thought I commended him for it. I thought it was incredibly moving. I thought it was honest. I thought it was open. I think he will help a lot of people by being as vulnerable as he was, especially being known for a guy who you wouldn't think would do that. So on one hand, I'm like giving Sean all the flowers in the world, but you can't in the same conversation say attacking wives is off limits and then call this woman a pedophile, which she clearly is not. Okay.
Correct.
You literally just said you can't attack people's wives, and you called his wife something horrendous, and then did it more than once, and did it, where the whole internet's going to see that and her kids are going to read it. So I applaud Ian for saying something. To be honest with you, I just wish we would all stop. Like, I'm not some prude that thinks like, I realize what game we're in, right? I actually prefer guys have physical fights than do this shit, if I'm being honest, because that way the family doesn't get dragged into it. And that way there's not statements and altered photographs that live on the internet for years and years and years for your kids to have to Google, when they get of age. That's the stuff that really bothers me, is like the fact that things that are said now are permanent. If you're going to get into a fight with each other, go for it. Like, I actually liked the fact that he fought Dricus, and I like how Dricus handled the whole situation. It's just, I'm so sick of how the way that people talk shit now in the game has changed. And I think, you've got people out there saying there isn't a line. Well, there is a line, because you don't see these guys using racial slurs. They would never, because they know better, right? It's territory. It's a line we do not cross. There is a line. It's just, it keeps moving. And I think we need to move it back where we don't talk about wives. We don't talk about kids. And there's some amount of decorum. I miss your shit talk, honestly. Like, I thought you were great at it. I miss Chael, who could dress someone down in the most creative way, and Chael wouldn't even cuss. Like, no. I like the creativity of attacking the fighter himself. Fine. You want to call him a pussy, you want to call him that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not innocent in that way, but you have to quit bringing in third parties who have very little or if nothing to do with what's going on. And I'm not necessarily even like saying that Ian Gary's situation is blameless, because he did that to other people. It's like become this giant, everyone is a huge hypocrite. Ian's a hypocrite. Sean's a hypocrite. Like, how about we all just stop? Like, stop being such assholes and bring it back a little bit. I think all of those guys individually are good people. Like, I think Dricus is a great guy. I think Sean's a great guy. What little I know of Colby, when I interact with him when he's not in character, he's awesome. So
yeah, he is.
I have nothing bad to say about these people as people, but I think I see things differently now, because my son is finally at an age where he's starting to like look things up. And it sucks that certain things live on the internet that are said about you and that aren't true, or just like that are just shitty.
I don't watch it. I don't think I will. Watching a grown man cry in an interview is not really my watch material that I go and watch, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad he cried and he got it out. I hope it's the end of that. Yeah, I think we give him a lot more credit than he deserves in terms of mindset. I don't think he thinks about anything. I think he goes out there and he fights. He fights the way Sean Strickland fights. He always has, and he's an incredible fighter. I have a lot of respect for him as a fighter. I think he's incredible. Do I think he's a hypocrite? 100%. 100%. Obviously, childhood trauma is something you can't help, but if you know what it feels like to be at the one on the receiving end of such trauma, don't inflict it on others, because that's exactly what he does. So yes, I mean, I feel bad for him. I don't think any kid deserves that ever.
I cannot believe how big he gets between fights. I'm not even joking. He fought December 16, so less than 3 weeks, my brother. And now he's looking like an old retired fighter, my brother. Fat ass. And was not only that time. Every time you see Paddy Pimblett, we see that he fights and then he just become obese after the fight. And I think that's going to be very detrimental for his career, because in the end of the day, fighters, they have to be ready, they have to be on shape, otherwise you're just messing up with your whole system. You should take care of your health, my brother, because as a lightweight, walking with 190, and it's not like you muscle or something, it's muscle or something. The guy is round, my brother. Look at his face, and that's never going to be a good thing, my brother. Get that much weight and get that crazy fluctuate about your weight, and he definitely should consider to join a diet program, my brother.
This is my last run at the title. I'm doing everything I need to do. I'll fight whoever I need to get to that title. Volkanovski and Ilya are fighting in February. In a perfect world, I'd want the winner of that, but I know I need to fight someone in the very top of the crop to get back to where I was earlier.
Is it better for you if Volk wins because you're a fresh opponent for him?
Possibly. I do feel that if Ilya were to get the nod, then possibly Max would jump in there. If Volk wins, I feel like I'm just that matchup. Stylistically, it's such a good matchup. We're pretty similar, so I just feel like it would be good. But at the end of the day, it's up to the UFC. So whatever they want to do.
You versus Max feels like one that makes a lot of sense. Would you be interested in that?
Of course. Max was, besides Volkanovski, I think, he's one of the best featherweights of all times. That was Max's position, but I just feel like Max has beat everybody. The only person that has his number is Volkanovski. So he is the number one contender. He's cleared out pretty much everyone in the division and fought everyone in the featherweight division but myself. It would be an honor to fight him. And that's like a sure shot to the title.
Right.
Go and I beat him. There's nothing left but to fight for the title. So if that's what the UFC wants to do, hey, let's do it.
When I'm looking at myself and my legacy, I want to be known as one of the best welterweights to ever do it. And even when you're looking at my resume, the guys who I fought the best welterweights that have been in my time. Wonder Boy, who fought for the title twice. Damian Maia fought for the title twice. Gilbert Burns fought for the title once. Luque weighed in for the title fight. He was on a huge streak. Sean Brady, I think, eventually will fight for the title. I'm fighting the best of the best. And I don't even have the title yet. So once I get the title, I beat Leon, who beat Usman, who was considered one of the GOATs. I walk through him, and then I fight Shavkat, who's on this undefeated streak. I beat him. My resume is going to be better than all these guys. And I'm going to be a guy that's going to be able to leave that name once at the end of it all, where the people will be like, man, we should have respected him more when we had the chance.